Hey, Van,
Oh,
I have a question for you. I've noticed on your videos and your YouTube that you've been talking a lot about the eclipse.
yep, the eclipse is a big thing coming up, once in a lifetime event, 100 years.
100 years.
Wow.
I don't think we're going to be here for the next one.
Well, we do take pretty good vitamins, honey.
True story, true story. You know, we are ready for it. We have our glasses right here.
Yeah, you
So,
They look good. I think they're stunning.
absolutely,
Dancing, do you hear that music?
absolutely.
I'm telling you. Well, I'm almost blinded by the light.
There you go. There you go. So, give us a call because we won't leave you in the dark. You can reach us at 208-608-2791.
All right, put those glasses on and we'll end dancing. Go ahead. All right, ready? All right, cue the music. We're going to cut that out. All right, I think this is working here. Welcome to the Eclipse weather forecast. That's right, brought to you by my friends over there at the Priority Real Estate group over at Keller Williams. Great, great people. Cameron and Kelly Iacovelli. I love that name, but they can do great work for you. Check them out. Also, we're using a site here made by Xavier M. Jubier. This is one of the best sites that's out there. Just go to totalsolareclipse2017.org. Give Xavier some love. There's even a donate page there. But this does a wonderful job showing the path of the eclipse, and you can zoom into different layers, regions rather, of the map and get all kinds of great information. So I'm going to use this to bring you some detailed forecasts for the cloud cover with the solar eclipse. That's the big story. We outlined a little bit of the weather. Now let's get to the details of what I think the old solar eclipse viewing index will be for cloud cover. And so we're going to zoom in. I was up today and took a ride up to Horseshoe Bend. You can see they are in the total eclipse line. The blue line there is the best, longest duration of the eclipse. Down to the bottom edge, you'll be a little shorter, but still see the total eclipse. And so Horseshoe Bend, as you can see, is in there. Also, Xavier's got all kinds of great stuff. You can click on it and get all kinds of information. So go and check that out. I'm telling you, it's a great site. But let me show you Horseshoe Bend, Montour, Gardenia. Let's start there. Brownlee, Banks, Garden Valley, Grimes Pass, Black Canyon, and Emmett. Let's get into there and give you what I think is the index for viewing with cloud cover. Now keep in mind, it could change, but this is my best stab at it right now based on what I'm seeing. And I think it's looking fairly good. Around 11 o'clock, 11:30, a quarter of 12 in the morning, Mountain Daylight Time. I think it's going to be a good viewing. I think there'll be a few clouds drifting on through, but we will still be able to see the sun dimly through those clouds. So at this point, I'm going to give this area right here at the starting point an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10 for good viewing. So I'm liking that forecast, the way things are shaping up right now. Back towards the west will be better than I think towards the east. I'll explain that in just a bit, and as we get closer to the area. Horseshoe Bend, I went through there today. Met some nice people. Met them over at the Pine Tree Motors, right on down in Horseshoe Bend. You can't miss it. You come over the bridge, you see Pine Tree Motors. Stop in, tell them that Vin said hello. All right, got myself a new mic. Got a little static on the last one, but everybody in Horseshoe Bend today, I drove up there, was complaining about the traffic already. They said just pulling out onto 55 from the general store took forever, and folks are taking 2 hours to go from like Banks to Horseshoe Bend in traffic. This is a little foreshadowing of the nightmare situation that will be coming up along Highway 55 for the eclipse viewing. But still think it's going to be pretty decent with an 8 out of 10 there. Looking back towards the west over Emmett, Black Canyon, even out by New Plymouth, Fruitland, Ontario, Fort Wilson, up towards Payette. I think here too will be decent. I think it's going to be a little bit, we'll say partly sunny. I've got a few clouds mixing on in, but overall I think we're looking pretty good for the eclipse viewing experience up around New Plymouth, the Hamilton Corner area, Fort Wilson. I will give this area too an 8 out of 10.
on the Eclipse weather viewing index and cloud cover. So looking pretty good back here, I think. Based on what I'm seeing with the computer forecast model scenario, I think the cloud cover is going to be concentrated a little bit more towards the north, and so that leads us up to the north and getting up here towards north on 55, north of Horseshoe Bend, up around Cascade, Banks, getting on up towards Donley, Carboton. This is where I think we'll see a little bit more cloud cover out by Warm Lake. There's the blue line on Smith's Ferry. That's where you'll see the longest period of the eclipse. And then as you move north and away from that blue line, you'll still be in the total eclipse, but not seeing the length of it. All right, so Warm Lake up around Arling and Bear Bottle Crossing, Cascade, Carboton. I do believe that there are going to be some clouds up here. I do believe it's not going to be as good as an 8 out of 10. Got to knock you down. We'll take it as low as a 7 right now, but don't be surprised if this gets down to a 6 in tomorrow's weather report. So right now, as of Tuesday, I like a 7 out of 10 for that area. Back towards the east, again around Stanley, points north of Stanley, I think a little bit more cloud cover, so I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10 for the viewing there. But south of Stanley, down by Atlanta, Cathedral Pines, down just north of Rocky Bar, I think it's going to be pretty good, so I'll push that back up into an 8. Back towards the Lost River, I like an 8 out of 10 for the viewing experience, but up around Bora and up north of that area, that's where I think there'll be some clouds, so you may be back into that 7 out of 10. All right, as we go towards the east into eastern Idaho, it looks like out by Idaho Falls, getting over here by Arco, and you can see over east going in towards the Tetons, Jackson. I think the clouds will be moved to the north at this point. I really think you're going to have a fantastic viewing experience in eastern Idaho, right there along Interstate 15, back there for the most part, south and north of Rexburg. I think it's going to be good. Driggs, all good. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for viewing experience in eastern Idaho. So you should have some good viewing experience. Really think the cloud cover will be moving up north and to the northeast, back into Montana. So I think you're going to luck out here in Idaho Falls, down around Shelley, Victor, Driggs, Alta, and then over there in the Teton Village, Jackson, Wyoming, of the Teton National Forest. So that's the way things are shaping up with the weather index. The Eclipse Weather Index by the Weather Show with Vin Crosby. It's looking pretty decent overall, I think, for Idaho, with the exception being northern Idaho at this point. Coming up, I'm going to take a look at the national forecast. So if you have friends and family on Facebook, let them know that they can get this eclipse weather outlook for the nation, the Eclipse Weather Index, exclusive to the Weather Show with Vin Crosby. So check that out. Let folks know. Overall, I like the viewing for the most part at this point, with the storm system going to our south and one kind of dodging to the north. It's looking to set up like a split flow around the region. Generally, that gives us some pretty decent sky coverage mixed in with some clouds and some sun.